Cool. So, welcome to Kate's Burndown, June 12th. As a reminder, this meeting is being recorded and will be publicly posted to a YouTube channel. So please follow the Kubernetes Code of Conduct, which boils down to don't be a jerk. And I don't think we have anyone on from enhancements, but Kenny did mention to me that I don't believe there are any changes since yesterday's update. So we should be still tracking 25 enhancements. And they all should have keps, and from the enhancements front, we all should be good to go. So I can pass it over to George to give an update on CI Signal.
So, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending where you are. Master informing, let me see. So, a couple things that happened since yesterday. In master blocking, now master informing, one of the tests, the DNS config maps name server actually broke due to the core DNS revert that was merged yesterday, but a fix was quickly proposed, and that is a PR 78920 that is listed right there in the notes, and that was actually that was reviewed and merged as quickly as possible. And the latest runs of the test have actually been green, so we are once again good to go on the CI signal side. Other couple things to mention is that yesterday there were a handful of actually there were a lot of flakes, not only in the SQList dashboards, but also on the blocking pre-submits with integration test. In the notes I added the names of some of the most common patterns that I observed, and we will keep investigating to see if there's anything interesting that we can tackle regarding those flakes. But it seems today the pre-submits look a lot. The pre-submit looks a lot better, and all the integration tests on master on the SQList dashboards have been okay for the latest runs. 115 blocking, thinking that a branch fast forward is gonna solve the issues. One of the jobs was failing again due to the core DNS revert. So just need to get the commit that fixes that into the 115 branch. Again, so a couple flakes on one GCE cause Kubernetes beta default. I think the last time I checked, the latest run was failing a little bit, but the team and I will keep an eye on that. And that leaves us now with master informing. So 78.123, that was the ton of GCE jobs that were failing on the before switch step. It looks like the core DNS revert actually worked out. Although that actually made us realize that some of the kube control tests were failing, but there's a cherry pick, 78772 that's waiting to be merged. It has been approved by patch managers. Just waiting for one of the 6 scalability pre-submit blocking tests to finish running. And that leaves us with the last failure for right now, 78.123. That is the 6 scalability issues that we've been mentioning for the last couple of days. Turns out that the failures were actually were due to the Kube API server restarting every time the restarting a lot, which was putting a bunch of pressure on the cluster, causing the test to fail. It appears that the failures are due to a bump in clock. I think it was bumped to 0.30.2, which was causing clock to actually write logs to two different locations, which wasn't something that people expected. And a revert has been proposed. So just waiting for that to be approved, merge, and see if it actually solves our problems. Um, Other than that, reboots are still flaky, but we haven't actually got in contact with anyone from the Google side, the GCE side of C cluster lifecycle, and the OpenStack conformance test. It's still again. So also need to get in contact with people from C OpenStack to see why the test just why the job just stops running every now and then. And other than that, I remember that somebody mentioned that people from Six Scalability were gonna be present during the call to talk about 78.123. I don't know if if anybody's present for that.
So I'm from the Six Scalability.
Oh,
So
sweet.
okay. So regarding the issue with the scale testing fail, I think you summarized it pretty well. So I don't think there's much to add. We've run some additional tests today, and we are quite sure that the only problematic thing was the update to klog. So I think we would like to run the test tomorrow, as usually on the schedule, just to double check that. But we are slightly optimistic about.
Awesome.
Okay. From SIG Scalability's standpoint, are we okay to enter code thaw for 115?
I would, if possible, I would wait till tomorrow to make the call. So yeah.
Okay. Is it just waiting for that issue that George has linked in the doc to be merged?
We revert the change and we run some tests locally, but like to be 100% sure that there is no other issues. We would like to rerun the test as usual, so just to be 100% sure that it was only klog and there is nothing else there that may cause problems to the scalability tests.
Okay, so we can wait.
Go ahead, Doc. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, Tim.
Aside from reverting it, though, like it was bumped to solve a particular issue. We'll be reintroducing that, right? Is there a way to, is there a plan to resolve both, or will we just be going back and tolerating the original issue that caused klog to move forward?
Are we talking about the issue with core DNS?
The klog issue. So if you said
So
that,
I think if you're referring to the email thread, I think the other issue was fixed by other PR, not the one with the power bump, but I can double check that.
so let me try and restate this.
Mm-hmm.
I think, so you've got a scalability regression and you're narrowing it down to it being related to klog having moved forward.
That's right.
What is the forward path then to resolving the scalability issue? Is it reverting klog to the prior version, or is it fixing a bug in klog and moving to a newer klog version?
So I think the revert was just to mitigate the issue, and that's one of the possible option if we'll be able to have a proper fix.
Okay, but klog moved forward to the currently problematic version in order to solve somebody else's need. We will be breaking them by reverting. Do we solve the scalability problem by creating another regression elsewhere in the project?
That's okay. So I'm looking at the email thread because I was pretty sure that actually. Let me just give a second. So I'll double check that. So my understanding is that bump to 3.1 was the one that was fixing the functional issue, and bump to 3.2 was the one that broke the scalability test. So my understanding is that reverting back to 3.1 will make us don't have the scalability regression and don't have the functionality regression. At least that was my understanding from the email thread that we were having today at this Kubernetes 6 scale mailing group.
Okay, I haven't seen that context then, so I was just going by the pull request 78465, which is the one that moved to version 0.3.2 of Klog, and it indicates it fixes a bug 77904. And bug 77904 is a scalability issue. So this feels circular. It seems like we moved to Klog 0.3.2, if I'm reading this right, to solve a scalability problem, but now we have a scalability problem, so we want to revert it. So
if I'm reading this correctly, the bump that to point 2 doesn't fix the scalability regression. It's the one that fixes the bump to 3.1.
Okay.
Okay, I don't see any scalability issues linked to both bumps to 3.1 and 3.2. I think there is only one linked to the revert from 3.2 to 3.1.
okay.
Okay, so it sounds like we don't think that this revert is reintroducing an issue that was mentioned in the issue that Tim had linked in the chat. Yes, is that a fair?
Okay, where's the chat?
It's issue number 78465. Or we can also come back if you need time to read up on this issue and look into it.
So yeah, I would appreciate it. I don't want to keep you on hold here in this call.
No worries. We will let you check in on that and come back. But it sounds like either way, we want to delay thaw until we have a chance for the SIG scalability tests to run one more time. Okay, so for the kube cuddle issue that was proposed, I believe okay, this one is tagged with milestone 114. So is this being cherry picked then into a patch? Do we also need to pull it into the 115 release? I'm now looking at issue 78772.
From my understanding, is the test. From my understanding, is that if this merges to 114, it's gonna solve the master test. But I'll double check with Jordan, who I don't think is on the call.
No, I do not see him on.
I'll double check with Jordan, but my understanding is that the cherry pick to 114 should solve the master problem.
Okay. And then I think Jordan had also put another PR in the SIG release Slack channel, 78915. I don't know if this is related to any issues that we're seeing, but he did mention that this one might be cherry picked into 115 as well.
78995.
78915. I will drop a link to it in chat. Okay. Cool. Any other questions for CI signal? Okay. We can then go on to color. What is the CI signal color today?
So given the feedback from 6 scalability, I want to say yellow.
Okay. Cool. And is it safe to assume we'd be green if the SIG scalability tests are able to pass?
Yes, that's the one big thing that's going on right now. That and so we need 6 scalability solve, I want to say, and a possible fast forward to on the 115 branch to solve the DNS issues that came up from the core DNS revert.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, now on to bug triage.
You know how yesterday I had this like really cool thing where I linked the pull request and there was 0 open? Well, that's not the case anymore. So a pull request got opened 15 hours ago about fixing the upstream core DNS config map, or did that get reopened? Anyway, so it looks like this one's approved and LGTM, so it looks like it's landing. So we're waiting for that one. I don't know if it's blocking or not, but it looks like it's going to go in anyway. So then there's another one about ability to retry config map if certain errors happen. I'm not sure if this is blocking, and I'm inclined to move it to 116 because there's a lot of discussion around it, and it does not seem that there's a clear direction for it to land in 115. So I'm inclined to kick it.
Yeah, I think this is the one Jordan pinged in the Slack, in the SIG Relay Slack channel.
Mm-hmm.
He wants it to land in 115 since he says it is relatively small and isolated. Though because it's so small, he said it would be easy to cherry pick and it doesn't need to delay thaw.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that context, so I was like, what's going on? So if 78923 lands and this one we can cherry pick, I'm fine with code thaw whenever at this point.
Okay.
As long as CI signal's fine with it. So I guess I'm a green on Go for status, which is nice to say. From a bug triage perspective, the issues that are still open, George just talked about, so I don't need to go over them again. And once those are resolved, then we can move forward.
Okay. Cool.
Yep, we are good to go.
Thank you. Any other questions for bug triage? All right, then test infra.
Hey everyone. So we had 3 PRs merged in since yesterday and 22 in the last 7 days. The status is green from test infra side.
Cool. And then I know we have some open issues for test infra around dissolving the handbook into branch management. And then CI signal, I believe, is the other one. Yes, seen the issue. Do we have any open PRs for getting those pieces of information out of test infra into CI signal and branch management?
No.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. Yes, y'all should probably start opening PRs against the handbooks. Oh, I see Josh is saying opposed to adding anything to CI signal. Okay. at least for branch management, we should probably start opening PRs to get that information moved over. So the future branch manager lead has all the information ready for them on what they need to be doing.
So there are two issues open. One is against branch management and the other is against release manager.
Okay.
So yeah. So one is assigned to branch manager and one is assigned to the release manager. That's you. So
yeah. But they don't have any, like, there are no PRs for adding the
Yep.
changes to the handbook, right?
Yep.
Okay.
There's nothing against CICL.
Okay, cool. Thank you for the clarification. Okay, any other questions for test infra? All right, if not, we can go over to docs.
Hi, everybody. So we are green today. We had all the PR made since yesterday, so there's no update today. Yes.
Cool. So there's nothing else needed for docs for 115?
So we are right now we're working on cleaning the conflict between dev 115 and master. That's the only thing that's remaining, and preparing for the release date.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Release notes?
Hello. Not much to update between yesterday and today. Sasha has graciously accepted nomination to become the release notes lead for 116. Other than that, we are working on the major themes still, and the Brel Notes website is apparently making rounds on the internet, which is nice. Past that, we're green.
Cool. Awesome to hear. Comms? Mm-hmm. Is it safe to assume most of the media interviews would be happening next week? Yes, that'll be fun. I'm supposed to be at an offsite, but I will let my team know that I might need to hop out for 30 minutes at a time. That sounds good. Yes, sounds good. Cool. Thank you. Any other comms related questions? All right, then we can pass it over to Cheryl.
Hi, hope everyone's Wednesday is going well. So for the official release will happen on June 17th. Claire mentioned that we might do an RC2 release. I'm flexible either Thursday, Friday for that to happen. So yeah, it depends on the needs of the team really. Other than that, once code freeze is lifted, I'll start cherry picking PRs based on the label I've linked in the document or in the meetings note. And right after today's meeting, I'll run fast forward just so that we can try to get 115 blocking green. So I've linked those in the meetings notes as well. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So for the potential RC2, my understanding is we would want to do that once we get the last of the open PRs on the 115 milestone in, and that would give us signal if the release is stable and ready to go on Monday. Is that fair, or are the amount of PRs that are still waiting so small that it wouldn't be worth the effort of cutting an additional RC, that we could just do a fast forward to get that signal?
Directed to me. Let's see.
Yeah, we can also discuss this in Slack if you need to look into those PRs and get a better sense, or if other folks on the call have thoughts about the last few open PRs. If not, yeah, I can just do a quick ask in Slack if it's worth the effort, or if we think the branch fast forwards are enough, if there are no strong opinions on the call.
So what it looks like right now, there are 2 open PRs under milestone 1.15. So I don't mind doing on the release cut, but yeah, like Claire mentioned that we could just fast forward those. So totally flexible on this.
Okay. Yeah, I'll throw it out in probably the release manager Slack to see if there's enough need for it. Because yeah, I don't want to make you do additional work if it's not needed, but we'll check in there. Cool. Any other questions for release branch management? All right, I will pass it then over for Emeritus Lead.
We have all of the, we have nominations for all of the leads for the next cycle, except for CI Signal. It's pretty much it for today.
Okay. Do we think, since we don't think any of the CI Signal potential lead nominations are coming out of the shadow pool, do we think it's okay to put out the shadow survey for 116 so we can start filling it out?
Sure. I don't see there's a problem.
Cool. I don't think I see Lockie on, but maybe we can just like confirm with him if he's okay for us to release it out into the wild. And then hopefully they can have their team assembled well in advance.
So for the lead, do we reach out to previous CI leads, or?
Yeah, I did actually ping a bunch of folks who shadowed CI Signal and were not leads previously. Haven't had anybody jump forward. We'll see. I mean, you know, of the roles, except for I think it's probably the most time consuming of the section leads right now. So I'm not surprised that this is our hardest one to fill.
Yeah. Let me know if you need help pinging folks as well. I take it you also don't want to reassume the role, because I think that's, if there's no other options, that is something you can do if you're interested, but if you're not interested, don't feel pressure to do so.
I personally love CI Signal. I wouldn't mind it,
Really?
but if somebody else wants to do it, I'll be the backup plan.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't even consider that because like I've been CI Signal before, and I would never want to do it twice in a row. So so I didn't even consider that as a possibility. That might end up happening if we don't get anybody stepping forward, which it looks like we might not.
Okay, so I guess just keep reaching out to people if you need any help looking for candidates. I'll jump in, but backup. I was gonna say backup singer, backup CI Signal. I'll be around. I wouldn't mind doing it again.
Yeah, I mean, if we have, like, my understanding of how this process goes, if none of your shadows are willing and you do have a desire, you are more than welcome to. Josh, correct me if that's an incorrect statement.
Yeah, I mean, we try to advance and rotate people around. For one thing, if you like being on the release team, we kind of want you to jump around between roles so that you become a candidate for release lead as well, because that's often another hard position to fill. But we need to have all positions full, particularly like we could actually start the release cycle without a couple of roles, without like comms or release notes are ones we could fill late. CI Signal is not. Yeah, and you've been doing a terrific job. So
yes, +1. Okay, cool. Thank you, Josh. Any other questions around shadow stuff? Okay. Moving down to my update. Next upcoming milestones, code thaw, hopefully today, if not tomorrow, depending on the scalability test runs. We're going to have an open question if we're going to cut in RC2. Then June 13th, so that's tomorrow, is the stated cherry pick deadline. That might get pushed out an additional day, I suppose, if we have to push code thaw out much more. And then June 17th is still our target release date. For scalability, just circling back, if we've had time to look into that issue that Tim had linked, if we know if the revert on the clog bump is going to reintroduce the scalability issue that it was originally introduced to fix. Did we have time to look into that further?
We're discussing over in the SIG scalability channel. Okay,
cool. Then I will follow up there after this call is over. I'm gonna give for release color yellow just because these scalability things are concerning and that we're still delaying code thaw, but once those clear up, hopefully I can go green. Additional reminders to all leads, please update your handbook. I think I've been mentioning this a lot, but it does help the next generation of folks who roll onto the team, since this is a very high turnover subproject of SIG release. Additionally, if you have any open issues or PRs that were initiatives you were working on, if those are meant to land in the 115 timeframe, please make sure to try and get those wrapped up. If there are things that can be delayed, feel free to update the milestone to 116. If it's something you were working on that you need to hand off to your successor, please make sure you talk to them about that handoff. Basically, we're hopefully less than a week out from our release, so tie up any loose ends that you have if you're going to disappear after the release. And I think that's all I have. Any other questions or things folks want to talk about today?
Something I forgot to mention, which I feel I should. I am nominating Marco for Bug Triage Lead. He did an amazing job, as a shadow for the last 2 releases, and I think he's going to do a killer job as lead for the next release.
Cool. Awesome. Glad to hear. Sounds like we'll have a very awesome 116 release team. Cool. Anything else anyone wants to mention? All right, then I think we can call today's meeting. Thank you all for joining.